Singh DC.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stringer, it is a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship and a privilege to be taking part in this important debate, very ably led, may I say, by my honourable friend, the member for Gower, which has been triggered by a summer of chaos in our schools and colleges. Hundreds of people in my Slough constituency have signed both petitions showing real concern and anger amongst the people that I represent. Like every honourable member here, over the summer I was contacted by parents, teachers and young people themselves about their concerns and the confusion and chaos surrounding this year's exam results. Heartbreaking stories of university places withdrawn and futures stolen. I think even the government's greatest supporters would acknowledge that things did not go well. In March, the Education Secretary cancelled exams, saying this year's students should not face, and I quote, systematic disadvantage as a consequence of these extraordinary circumstances. In July, the Education Select Committee sounded the alarm that groups of pupils, especially those from disadvantaged and Black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds, would be penalised. On the 13th of August, those awarded A or A star at A level increased to an all-time high in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, with 27.9% securing top grades, and I congratulate them all. However, pupils from disadvantaged backgrounds were hit hardest by the algorithm, with Ofqual itself showing that disadvantaged pupils were most likely to have the grades proposed by their teachers overruled and downgraded, and children from affluent backgrounds most likely to do well. And the same pattern a few days later with the GCSEs. So whilst ministers started the summer saying they wanted to avoid systematic disadvantage, by the end of the summer it was plain ministers were responsible for the exact opposite, hard-baking disadvantage into the system. And where was the Prime Minister? Like McCavity, the mystery cat, the Prime Minister's not there. And a report by the National Foundation for Educational Research last month revealed that school pupils were on average 3 months behind where they would normally be without the lockdown, with more deprived students and schools worst affected. I have a rather famous top school near me, down near Slough in Windsor. But, Mr. Stringer, why should pupils at that particular college get enhanced opportunity on top of the huge opportunities that they already have at the expense of pupils at Wexham School, Beechwood School, Ditton Park Academy or other such great schools within Slough? It is especially cruel to get pupils who have worked so hard and were on track to do well, but simply due to attending a school which historically had struggled, they were punished. And as the Joint General Secretary of the National Education Union, Mary Bousted, said, grades were initially awarded for the vast majority of students with no reference to or evidence of their individual achievements. Mr. Stringer, we tell people that their children can do better than they did. We tell the next generation that if they work hard, they can get on. If we as a society break that fundamental promise, we risk far more than one summer of chaos. We risk a breakdown of trust in our institutions and a generation held back by injustice. We are storing up troubles for decades to come. The petitioners point to two key areas where we can try to get it right next year. Firstly, to review in forensic detail what went wrong this summer, despite the warnings from education unions, from schools and from the Select Committee, and secondly, to make plans and give much needed clarity for those who are taking exams next year. I'm glad the government have addressed the exams timetable for 2021, but since August, the Labour Party have been calling for exams to be delayed till June to give pupils more time to catch up on lost teaching time. And it's unacceptable that it's taken only until today, over a month after schools returned, for the government to finally commit to doing this. Until now, parents, pupils and schools have been left in the dark regarding the timing of exams, making it more difficult for them to plan for the academic year. Additionally, while a delay to exams is necessary, other measures must also be considered by the government to ensure that exams are fair. So perhaps the Minister can address the following 3 points. Firstly, what guarantees can he give parents, pupils and teachers in Slough schools that we won't see a 2021 summer of chaos? Secondly, what measures will ministers put into place to ensure pupils from disadvantaged backgrounds do not have their dreams stolen by hardwired injustice? And finally, what can the Minister tell the House about thousands of taxpayer pounds going to PR agency Public First, paid by Ofqual this summer to clear up their public relations disaster? Public First, Mr Stringer, a PR agency run by Rachel Wolfe and James Frain, former special advisers to the Right Honourable Member for Surrey Heath, on a contract awarded without competitive tender. Does the Minister consider that this is a good use of public money? Thank you very much.